My name is Jim Bissel. I am a production designer for long-form narrative. My favorite movie scene filmed in Vienna, which is not in The Third Man, would be from the film I did with Mariana called Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. It takes place in the Vienna Opera. And while we did create much of the interior of the Vienna Opera on stage, the actual exterior is so beautiful and so classy and so wonderful, as is the city itself. I just think that it's an amazing scene. And there's lots of adventure and action and explosions, and I don't think the city could have been more cooperative than they were in helping us to get the scene. My job as a production designer is to give context to performance. If you look at film as a series of images that tell a story, there's two components to those images, and that would be performance and context. And so I really enjoy trying to think of where certain things need to happen and how the context that you give to a performer in the actions and the words that they say and the actions that they do, how the context helps provide a really rich and detailed part of the storytelling process. And that's one of the things that's so wonderful about Vienna, which is it is such a rich and detailed environment within which to find incredible context for performance. My first experience with the Vienna Film Commission was also my strangest one, which was after being picked up at the airport, the location manager and myself were taken by Gerhardt to the sewer system. Not something that we normally do in every city that we visit. And it was fascinating because we got to see the scenes that were filmed in The Third Man, and it was really a highlight of the year. And then from that point, of course, everything was uphill because we got to see the Vienna Opera, all the wonderful museums and castles and the splendor of Vienna itself. But to start in the sewer system was unique and really fascinating. My favorite location, or actually, I wouldn't even call it my favorite location. It was a wonderful location, but my favorite experience in Vienna was climbing to the top of the Rathausmann. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
And it was cloudy and gloomy and rainy the whole time. We got to the top and we took a few pictures, and suddenly it was as if God himself were watching over us, and the skies parted and this glorious sunshine came down upon Vienna and the surrounding countryside, and the photographs were just spectacular, and all with the foreground of all this wonderful these sculptings all around the Rathaus, right? And it was really one of the most extraordinary scouting experiences I think I've ever had. Well, Vienna offers so much. I mean, it was fantastic for Mission Impossible. It was fantastic for doing action adventure and spies. It's exotic. It's very sophisticated and European. But I'd have to say, because of the quality of the locations, I would love to do a historical drama at some point. I don't know that I'll ever get that opportunity. There's too darn many other European designers who probably are even more familiar with the history than I am, but I do love that aspect of Vienna, which is the history of the city, especially going back 200 years, 300 years. It's just amazing. Well, it's annoying when you have too many good choices and you don't quite know exactly how to make the choices. I'm usually pretty good at that because I'm highly opinionated, but very often the annoying part is when you come across producers and directors who don't necessarily have strong opinions and vacillate. And vacillation is one thing that can take a very powerful scene and dilute it and make it not particularly good. happy anniversary, and thank you for all your help. You're amazing, all of you. And there wasn't a one that I met when I was in Vienna who didn't give us 100% in terms of support, advice, and talent.